Today is February 4th, 2025, and we're continuing the series of Judgment Month 2025. If you all heard last February 2024's videos, they were about judgment, and we are continuing that series again during this Black History Month. But aside from Black History, we're also going to talk about what is happening now and what is to come. I want to share with you all a dream that I had a few days ago and how it ties into current events along with past events. If you are a chosen one of the Most High, you have various things in your life that are difficult to understand. There are so many tentacles that are woven into your life of deals that were made by your family, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, your church that you may have attended, or church is plural. And today I want to talk about a dream I had and how it is playing out now. So I had a dream where I was with my aunt, and she's deceased now. I was with this aunt and we were checking into a hotel, and it wasn't the greatest hotel, but it was what was available at the time. We checked into this hotel and there were windows on two sides of the room, and they were on opposite sides. And there were two beds. She took one bed, I took the other bed. And we were asleep. And in the middle of the night, I heard the door to our room open. And I woke up and I went over to the door and I looked out, and there was a little boy running down the hall in one direction. In the other direction, there was a woman lying on the floor in the doorway of her room. And she basically was instructing this little boy to go into people's rooms. I don't know exactly what he was coming to do, but he was opening people's doors. My aunt didn't wake up right away. And when she woke up, I told her what happened. And we were looking out the windows. We had the shades open to these windows. And in one direction, there was fire among these tall buildings. They weren't especially skyscrapers. They were just what you might see in a downtown of whatever town that you live in. And the other side was residential. The other window was residential. And there were fires all around. We looked at this, and my aunt pointed over toward this one window and said, "That's Hollywood." And I said, "How do you know that?" And she said, "I was born not very far from here. I was born in Altadena," which I knew because she used to sing that. She made a little song about where she was from. And if you all have noticed during the wildfires on the West Coast, that Altadena, California, is pretty much destroyed. I saw a video where a Hispanic guy was walking around his neighborhood, and all of the houses had burned to the ground. All that was left was their chimneys and fireplaces. The neighborhood looked like rubble, like it had been this way for years. And he went over to his house, and his house was fully intact. The fires had come up into his backyard and burned up lumber that he was using to add an addition onto his house. And he walked out to the garage that was out in the back of his house. And the garage door had burned just at one corner of the garage door. And there was currently a fire up near the roof of his garage. But other than that, it didn't touch his home at all. So his entire neighborhood and the streets surrounding, all of the houses were burned down completely except his house. And he said in there that he didn't know what he did, but God spared him. And he didn't understand why. And he felt kind of guilty. I don't know anything about this man, but I do know what that feels like. I have lived through so many different disasters, whether it be natural disasters or whether it be man-made disasters. I have lived through so much, yet many of these disasters did not affect me or my dwelling. I've talked about these in various videos back. Go back and listen. The majority of my videos are on YouTube. So the point I want to make with this is, if you are serving the Most High and you are following his law, statutes, and commandments, some of these disasters that are happening will not affect you the way that they are affecting those around you. I want to also talk about the various things that happened around that time during the fires in California. I mentioned to you all in previous video about various ones who I had seen in dreams when I had that dream about Malibu in December, and how a lot of those people that appeared in my dream lost their homes in the fires the following month. It is not a game, people. The Most High is executing his perfect judgment, and he's not sad about it. He is rejoicing in his judgment. These people have earned this. All of those people surrounding that man's home in Altadena, California, they deserved that. They did what was necessary to inflame the Most High, and he set aflame their homes. So basically what ended up happening was the award shows where the Hollywood actors and actresses, those folks who channel demons, they pat each other on the back. It's just a big party. They celebrate, which is also just another big ritual that they do and include you all in it while you're watching it. Those things had to be put on hold because the people who were to be there accepting awards and the people who voted for those people to receive those awards, they were fighting for their homes. I'm not sad about any of it. It's the Most High's perfect judgment. He said he was going to destroy Babylon, and they are a central location here in this United States for Babylon. That whole industry is run by the Ashkenazis, the fake Jews, who basically run the world. I also want to talk about the Tabitha Brown situation. I've told you all that I've had various interactions with various entertainers, and I've had personal interactions with them, and they come to me in my dreams to either ask for help or to steal something from me or to try to stop me from speaking out in my ministry and calling for the Father's perfect judgment. Last year, I attended a couple conventions where Tabitha Brown spoke at one, and Bozoma St. John. I didn't know anything about Bozoma before this, and I didn't actually listen to her talk. But after the convention, I looked her up and I learned about her, and I guess she's been in the C-suite in various large corporations. And if I recall correctly, she married a white dude. And her house burned down in the fires. I did hear Tabitha speak at a convention, and the people that were there were really excited to hear her speak. They were a bunch of fraternity and sorority members there, and they all did their little hoots and hollers and calls and their little hand signs and all the stuff that they do. And there were a lot of people at this convention, and there were lots of tables. And at the table where I sat, there were only a couple of us there. And something that I know about myself is people that are walking in darkness don't necessarily want to be around me. And I'm okay with that because I don't want to be around them either. I prefer being alone, or I prefer being around a chosen select few people that I want to be around. 3 women came and sat at the table where I was seated, and they didn't fit in with the rest of the attendees at this convention. Now, all of the people that were there weren't fraternity and sorority members, but a lot of them were. And these women didn't carry themselves the way that most of the people in this convention did. These were a bunch of haughty, arrogant people that looked down on others. And I was one of those people that they looked down upon. And like I said, I don't care. I don't wear designer clothes. I don't carry that type of spirit. And I don't feel like I need to do anything to fit in with anybody. I am my own person. And I carry the spirit of the Most High with me wherever I go. And that is the spirit in this season of judgment. And those folks who are arrogant and proud do not want to be around someone who carries judgment and speaks judgment. The 3 women that sat at my table were angels sent by the Most High to bear witness what was happening in this room. Like I said, they weren't like the other people in the room. They were dressed modestly, whereas most of the people in the room were dressed immodestly. They were dressed in designer clothes. They had designer bags. They had fancy hairstyles. One of these women had a head wrap on, and the other 2 had modest hairstyles. These women were ambassadors for the Most High. When the fraternity and sorority members were hooping and hollering and doing all their calls and stuff, we all just, at my table, we all just looked at each other in disbelief and horror at what we were hearing. The Father sent those women there for judgment. And what I know about my life is the fact that the Father sends angels around when I'm doing business for Him out in the streets. And these women were there as angels to bear witness to what was happening in this room. So I listened to Tabitha on the stage, doing everything she could to garner the praise and admiration of the people that were there, these arrogant, proud people, these haughty people, and invoked God, the generic God that these folks say. Didn't call him by name. And she talked about business and this and that and the other. And I haven't personally purchased any of her products. I do remember when they rolled out her product line at Target. I grabbed one of those magazines that were there and I looked through it, and it was just a bunch of crap that I had no interest in buying. And where we are in this season is it is time to be rounding out your stockpile of things that you need to survive the evil day that is coming upon us. I've told you all before that civil war is coming, and they're showing you every day. They are removing all of the civil rights legislation. They are removing any and all guardrails that were designed to provide opportunities to Black people, but actually they weren't really designed for Black people. That was just the way they painted it. DEI and anything considered minority business is basically geared toward white women. I told you all before that I worked at the U.S. Small Business Administration years ago, and I worked in the minority business sector. And what I saw there, aside from the smaller Black businesses, what I also saw was white males were handing over 51% of their business to their wives, their white wives, or other white females. And that way it became a minority small business. That's basically what happens throughout this country. So while you all are walking around out here listening to assorted figureheads who are basically government agents and agents for Satan, while they're telling you you should shop here and shouldn't shop there, truly, if we're being 100 about it, there really isn't anywhere that we can shop that is run by whites, that is safe for us, where they like us, where they even want our business. But we do what we have to do. Target is not a store that I generally shop at. I've gone there for one or two items here and there that I couldn't find elsewhere. But I don't generally shop at Target, because why would I want to spend more for the same items that I can get elsewhere for less? I will tell you this. I've told you all before that we have judged Costco, and I know you all are running and excited about getting your Costco memberships, this, that, and the other, but tell me exactly how many Black folks are in their C-suite. How many Black folks are running Costco? How many of the decision makers for Costco are Black? I'm not aware of any. But you all are rushing over there to go and get your memberships so that you can overspend on merchandise that you probably don't even need. I told you all that my prayer partner was targeted by security in Costco, and basically the security guard put his hand on his gun like he was about to shoot him. And all he was trying to do was redeem a gift card that was given to him. These people do not want you there, but they will happily take your money. They will happily take your money. You need to be strategic with your expenditures and go and spend money strategically on the items that you need that will help you to survive the evil day that is coming upon this land. Before this whole Target thing and Tabitha Brown happened, I was in Walmart. I was purchasing a few items for my stockpile, and I was overcharged $2. Now, you may think to yourself, $2, no big deal. But it was my $2. And the merchandise was priced one thing, but they charged me more than it was advertised. Well, I didn't feel like waiting for somebody to come and then having to go over and look and see what the price was on the shelf, this, that, and the other. So I decided to just go ahead and pay for my merchandise and leave and call upon the judgment of Walmart upon leaving. Well, while I was on my way to the register, there was a Black man being apprehended by the police in the store at the time, and he was yelling through the store, "I didn't do anything. I haven't taken anything. Why are you messing with me, bro?" And they were escorting him out of the store. This was happening the entire time I was on my way to the register, while I was at the register. And that's ultimately why I didn't want to wait for anybody to come and help me, because everybody's eyes were fixed on this Black man being ejected from the store. And at the same time, I was on the phone with my prayer partner. And at the same time, he was at a whole different Walmart. And while Walmart was stealing the $2 from me, he was being accused by one of the cashiers that run the self-checkouts of stealing an item for $2.24. So while Walmart stole $2 from me, at a whole different Walmart, they were accusing him of stealing something for $2.24, when all he had done was ask for help from the cashier because it wouldn't ring up. These kind of things happen all the time, every day in this country. Every day. And these kind of things happen with me all the time, that while one thing is happening over here, the opposite thing is happening over there. I see it all the time. I purchase things strategically for my stockpile, and I go where the Father tells me to go. Tabitha Brown came onto this internet and gave y'all her shtick. Y'all all right? How y'all doing? I want to talk to y'all about this, and I know y'all want to do this and y'all want to boycott and this and that. I understand that. And I want to ask God to give me the words to speak. I don't know. Haven't y'all heard that phrase come out of my mouth hundreds of times in these videos? That I ask the Father for the words to speak and he tells me what to speak? Yeah. But do you want to know what came out of her mouth after she asked for, quote, God to give her the words to speak? She then told y'all that she didn't think y'all should stop shopping at Target because you wouldn't be supporting her Black business. Well, do you want to know what her Black business is with Target? They've basically slapped her name, licensing, just like Trump, licensing. She doesn't create the products. She may help design some of the products, but they could easily slap anybody's name on those products and call them good. So for somebody that's always telling you, and that's my business, and that's your business, and that's my business, then why are you all up in our business telling us where to spend money and where not to spend money? So I'm actually glad that y'all have decided to boycott Target. I've been boycotting Target just simply because I don't want to overpay for merchandise that I can get cheaper elsewhere. I don't even like the attitude of Target. I don't like the attitude of the customers. I don't like the attitude of the employees. I don't like the way that I feel when I'm in there. And I take my blessing elsewhere. And then after I leave that place where I've shopped, I remove my blessing from that place. And if you're a chosen one of the Most High, you should do the same thing. Take your blessing back after you leave that place and go about your day. And this is the same chick that tells y'all that if you don't have anything good to say, if you not doing this and you're not doing that, then go and have a good day yourself and leave other people alone. This is now somebody that's trying to basically browbeat you into shopping and getting the crap that she sells at Target, which I don't have any personal interest in. None of that stuff is going to help me with my stockpile. And like I said, at this point, I'm just rounding out, getting a few things here and there just to add to the stockpile. I'm not out buying frivolous things. I'm not out buying purple tea kettles just because they're purple and overpriced. If you notice at a lot of these stores, a lot of the Black merchandise ends up on the clearance aisle. Now, I know y'all are bougie and y'all don't shop in the clearance aisle. I don't ever see Black people in the clearance aisle. I'm usually the only Black person in the clearance aisle. White folks be all up and through the clearance aisle. But I know y'all are too good and y'all don't want to be seen in the clearance aisle. And that's okay. Fine. Leave the stuff for me that I need there. That way I can find the things I need. I am strategic with my expenditures. And I suggest you be strategic with your expenditures as well. Nothing she sells is anything that I need. And I've seen videos where people have done compilations to tell you all of the people, all the Black folks that sell products in Target, you can go online to their websites and buy those products. My question is, with the brand exposure that Tabitha has, how come she doesn't have a website where she's selling her schlock there? She's got enough social media reach. No, she wants y'all to go on to a place where she signed a contract, a deal with Satan and his ambassadors, and wants you to go and spend your money there on stuff that doesn't matter, that she sells her garish stuff that doesn't matter. I suggest you all shop with wisdom, and these Hollywood people shouldn't be telling you what to do with your money. If you put their products on your body and on your hair and on your skin, you will collect the same judgment as them. You are basically giving them your energy. It's energy harvesting. Why do you think Beyonce finally won a Grammy? Since that's what's all over TikTok right now. Why do you think she finally won a Grammy? Because she got in y'all's heads and harvested your energy by putting out a hair care line called Sacred, which she named after herself. Have y'all stopped and thought about these things? Why is it that all the Black actresses now all have skin care and hair care products? Because they want their name on your body. It's a brand. It's all part of the mark of the beast system. You've injected that into your body. You've injected a computer program into your body that now you will willy-nilly go and do what these people tell you to do. You will go out and buy these products these people tell you to buy. A lot of the stuff that's sold by Black folks at Target is not anything that you need. It's not. So, with that being said, be wise in your transactions. Be wise in where you carry your feet. Be wise in where you spend your money, because you vote with your feet and your wallet. May the Most High, Yahuwah's perfect judgment, reign upon this land, and may his enemies be scattered and ultimately destroyed and cast back to the lake of fire where they belong. Do not listen to people who are allegedly invoking the words of God, because all you have to do at that point is listen to what they say after they say, "Let me ask God to give me the words to speak." Did God tell Tabitha Brown to tell y'all to continue shopping at Target, to come and buy her stationery, her kitchen gadgets, her wine that's not her wine? She doesn't have any vineyards. Her name is just slapped on some bottles. To come and buy her weird foods that she sells? Did God tell her that? Or did the God of this world tell her that? Mammon, money, commerce. That's the God that told her to say that. So Tabitha has been under judgment since the day that I sat in that convention and listened to her talk to these haughty and arrogant people about her business. Well, she signed a contract that she obviously can't get out of. And that's why she wants y'all to shop at Target. So, do as you will with that information. I started this video out by telling you that Hollywood and the surrounding areas were on fire in my dream. And I was with my aunt, who was born in Altadena, California. And most of Altadena is gone today. There's plenty more to come. I hope you all take heed to this message. These folks are being destroyed. Their livelihoods are being destroyed. Their wealth is being destroyed because it wasn't really theirs. It was lent to them by the Ashkenazis that run all of this. And like I told y'all before, Satan is a harsh taskmaster. And if you don't give him what he wants, he will expect more and more and more. Don't give these people your money. There is nothing that they sell that you need that will see you through this civil war if you are a chosen one of the Most High. And yes, the Father will secret many of us away. But that does not mean that you should not be prepared so that you can live until that time occurs. The Father is recompensing all that has been stolen from his children. The land is saturated with the blood of the saints. I think about that every single day, no matter where I go. I made a video the other day in the cemetery where the folks that were massacred in Tulsa, in the Greenwood section of Tulsa, were thrown into pits and buried in unmarked graves. My footprints were all over that place. And then the Father sent rains and washed my footprints away. The blood of the saints is in the soil of the land where you live in America. Everything is being brought to the surface. All truth is being brought to the surface. I told you all before in a video where the Bible was left open on a post that it had landed there during the floods in Hurricane Helene, and it dried there in the sun, and it was open to Revelation 14:6b through the end of Revelation 16. What I did not mention was the way that chapter 16 ends, where it talks about hail. What happened on the West Coast in California after the wildfires? Hail. Hail. The Father is not playing, y'all. He's not. He's not playing. You need to be stocked with food and water and provisions to see you and your family through to the end. Now, we've been sharing this message for years now. And if you're not ready, I don't know what to tell you. If you remember in Scripture, there was a woman who collected empty vessels. And her son were about to die. They only had a little bit of meal left to be able to make a couple little cakes. And they were planning to eat those cakes and die. A prophet came and told her to make him a cake. And she did that. And then he told her to collect empty vessels. And those vessels were filled with oil. As long as she had empty vessels to collect, they never ran out. She was able to sell what the Father gave her. Are you an empty vessel for the Most High? Are you going to be able to distribute to your family and those other chosen ones that He may send in your path? And you need to use discernment and wisdom about who those people are. Are you an empty vessel for the Most High? Are you an empty vessel for Satan? Are you an empty vessel for these celebrities to tell you what to buy of theirs, of things that don't matter, of things that can be destroyed by fire, by flood, by natural disaster? The Father comes and destroys things in a moment. Those people on the East Coast weren't expecting the floods. Those people on the West Coast weren't expecting the fires, yet their homes and everything they loved and believed in was destroyed in a moment. Will you be an empty vessel for the Most High? Because if you are not an empty vessel for Him to fill with His oil, the oil of gladness during these perilous times, the oil of provision, the oil of anointing, then you're automatically an empty vessel for Satan to use and to control and to manipulate. And then you are a vessel with holes in it, like a colander, where any and all provision that comes to you passes through the bottom like a colander. You can't collect it. You can't keep it. It spills out on the ground. And like I said, the ground is saturated with the blood of the saints. And let me add this in really quick before I close. I know that folks are worked up because of ICE raids and because of the racism surrounding that. I've told y'all in videos past that these Hispanics distance themselves from Black Americans. They hate us. They are white adjacent. That also includes the people that call themselves Native American Indians. They hate our people. Yes, they're out making videos now showing pictures of, oh, our ancestors were taking pictures with black people. That's great. But what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Don't try to come alongside us now. Don't tell me we all need to stick together now. The judgment is here. Those $5 Indians, those Hispanics, they mostly voted for Trump the first time and the second time too. I told y'all that I'm from Kansas and some of my people are from Oklahoma. Oklahoma is the reddest state in the nation. They voted mostly for Trump, and that includes the same 6 counties that I told y'all about in a previous video when I was on my way to go look at the wildfires near the border of Texas in Oklahoma. The same 6 counties that I drove through to get to there. Within 24 hours, tornadoes came and destroyed all 6 of those counties. White folks and $5 Indians and a few black folks. The tornado came past the house where I was dwelling at the time. It didn't touch a blade of grass, a tree, the animals, nothing. It didn't destroy anything, but I heard it. Sounded like a freight train passing by my window, and the Father told me, do not go outside. I looked out the window. I saw the tornado. I did what he said. I did not go outside. I prayed, and I stayed put. The Father kept me from that destruction. But all 6 of those counties were destroyed. And those same 6 counties all voted for Trump this time around. Those people don't tell you how they vote. They don't tell you what they believe in. They think they're going to get something from the government because they get money from the government. They get money from the casinos and the various entities that have been put in place for them to collect money from. But what they also did was do their best to remove all of the freedmen off of their rolls. And the freedmen were the black Indians. My family falls into that category too. They've done everything they could to remove our people from the rolls, and now they want to sit up and talk about let's stick together. I have no sympathy for the $5 Indians. I used to pray with them on a group prayer call every week during the time when they were preparing to vote for Trump. I warned them, and they did it anyway. They sealed their judgment in 2016. And here we are 9 years later, and they're talking about let's stick together. I have no sympathy for the Hispanics. I've made videos talking about it where I judge the Asians and the Hispanics. They have done nothing but feed off of our people. And before anybody comes and says, not all Hispanics, not all Asians, not all Indians, that's for the Father to sort out, not me. I am here to speak to my people, true Israel, the true indigenous people of the land. I'm here to speak to those people. And I'm here to pray for those people. I am not here to pray for anyone who is an enemy of the Most High. And if they voted for Trump, they are enemies of the Most High, because there is nothing about him that serves the Most High. And none of the people that serve under him serve the Most High. I warned you all about voting. I told you that the Father told me, whoever it is that you vote for, you will collect the same judgment as them. Whether it be Kamala, whether it be Trump, or whether you write somebody in or vote for some of these lower level people, whoever it is that you voted for, you will receive the same judgment as them. And that includes these Hollywood actors and celebrities that are asking you to vote with your dollars and buy their products. And that includes these celebrities and Hollywood folks that are asking you to vote with your wallet to purchase their crap that will do nothing to help you in the evil day. They are basically harvesting your energy. They are harvesting your time. They are harvesting your blessings. And if you want to hand your blessings over to empty vessels that are hollowed out for Satan, if you want to be a colander, which can't collect any blessings, they just spill out on the ground for these scavengers, these celebrities to come and take, that's on you. That's it, and that's all.